Hey, if you enjoy my content, please consider picking up a copy of my latest spooky short novel, Megawatt vs. the Vampires of the Sun. Available alongside another huge selection of family-friendly content at enterthelostlibrary.com. I guarantee we've got a good read for you. Hello, all you beautiful people in Webtown, and welcome back to another Silverline Sunday here on Crypto Comics. And I am very excited to share this very unique little book with you called Steam Patriots. This one is for all you real Americans out there, the fight for your rights Americans. And this really blew me away. This is not the stuff we typically cover here on Crypto Comics, to say the least. Doesn't look anything like a comic from the 1990s, does it? But there's something about the story and the art that really appealed to me. Very different, very fresh, very distinct and unique. And I always appreciate something that has a steampunk flair to it. I always appreciate anything that is historical fiction. This is created by Scott Wakefield and Rory Boyle. Written by Scott Wakefield, with illustrations by David Mims. And kudos to you, David Mims, for drawing this as interestingly as you did. I was sold on your art from the minute I opened the cover and saw this first page. So now for a word from Scott. If you didn't realize, you're holding a beautiful 10-year-old baby in your hands. Funny looking baby, you're probably thinking. And while we don't like having our brainchild described as funny looking, we're inclined to agree that it's one odd baby indeed. But how could this brand new story be 10 years old? Excellent question. You see, Rory and I dreamed this up nearly a decade ago while motoring northward through the Inside Passage aboard a beautiful little boat named Peregrine. It was there, amongst the beauty of the sea and sky, that Steam Patriots was formed. Then, over the years, molded, adjusted, set aside, reviewed, set aside again, and finally written as a comic book, all in fits and starts that finally found purchase here in the Silverline family. But isn't steampunk supposed to be from the Victorian era? Why yes, it is. But where did it all start? Why not with a stroke of genius from the infamous Ben Franklin, setting the steam revolution in motion? And while we're at it, why not add America's war for independence into the mix? And a smarty-pants young hero. Explosions? Intrigue? Well, we thought it was a great idea, so we created a story world that we hope you'll fall in love with. I'm in, already. Because I, myself, am a fan of historical fiction, and adding elements of steampunk into that, which is on full display in the remarkable novel Gaslight Gang, Curse of the Grey Gargoyle. Available now at enterthelostlibrary.com and on Amazon. Ka-chonk. Crunk, crunk. Must be important. He's pushing it too hard. They all do, Felix. But then, that's good for business. Not if they all explode before we can fix them. He's letting off the pressure. Perhaps we're getting a visitor. The British! They've landed by the thousands! Those damned redcoats! They're swarming ashore! Compose yourself, man. They merely intend to restore order. Order? It's an invasion, and Washington's men are ready and waiting. Go, before you're swept up into it all. Feeling it so far. Long Island, New York, August 1776. Dawn. Red sky by night, sailor's delight. Red sky by morn, sailor take warn. Pack our bags, Felix. We're leaving. But we're barely started. Is it really as bad as he says? We have no time for discussion, my son. I'll not have both of my sons caught up in this fervor and insanity. Insanity? Isaiah's fighting for our freedom. And where is your brother now? Do as I ask. Crash! What's all that noise? I have to hurry. What's the meaning of this? By order of His Royal Majesty, King George, we will crush this insurrection. I am General Howe, and I must have you show me over the Rockaway path. Whoops! Papers? What are these? Boiler carriage? Leyden jars? Electricity? But we're for the other side, General. We can't serve you. Benjamin Franklin? Is this a weapon? It's against our duty. Stick to your country or your principles. But Howard, you are my prisoner. You have no alternative. Perhaps shooting your son will convince you. Please, General, stay calm. I'm a friend of Dr. Franklin's, and I'm sure I can help end all this. Lower your weapons. This is much too interesting to ignore. A friend of Franklin's, you say? Please, continue. I have detailed plans in my room. Father! For an electrified weapon. Father, no! Stop the boy! Bam, bam, bam! Felix, stop! Please, you don't know what you're doing! Listen to your father, Felix. Felix, we can end this war! Don't be a fool, boy. I've made my choice! You can have the plans. Felix, no! Should I have burned them? Can I remember it all? I've remembered everything else. I've betrayed him. But he betrayed his country. How could he give those plans to the British? They could change everything. But Franklin's plans for an electrified weapon, how did Father come by them? Oh no, he stole them. Yeah, that's it. When we were in Philadelphia. What? The Junto, Franklin's last meeting of the Leather Apron Club. Frantic and secret. The Junto was a club created by Benjamin Franklin to discuss issues of morals, politics, and natural philosophy. Franklin's words were heavy with trepidation. We cannot turn the tide, gentlemen. We've jumped headlong from the precipice. Think what you like, but King George has summarily rejected our plans for peaceful redress. As you can imagine, our lives are thus imperiled, and I pray that we may find each other healthy and free after we stamp out England's oppression. And it is our duty to lend aid, as fitting our God-given skills, genius, and handiwork. And what of you, Franklin? What of me, indeed? I shall resume my duties as ambassador. But before that, General Washington has asked for my aid specifically. Of that, I am at no liberty to speak. I do trust that you're familiar with my recent experiments, and you can deduce what we may have up our sleeves. Crack! Only a minute. We must hurry. And the boy continues to run, trying to get where he needs to go. Please, sir, I have vital information. It's Howe's men. Who's in command? Where's General Washington? You there, boy! What's all this about? I've seen General Howe. You'll be surrounded, and I have to see General Washington. Lad, your news is too late. It's all so grim right now. But I'll pass the word. You stay put. I'm going to take a little nap. Time to move, lad. You're with me. No time to waste. They flanked us. All we can do is run. What about General Washington? Word is he's on Brooklyn Heights. I must see him. I have Keep your head down. And if we're lucky, we'll find the general. Will they find the general? There's only one way to find out, and that's to pick up your own copy of Steam Patriots, issues 1 and 2, available from silverlinecomics.com. Check it out, indieplanet.com/Silverline. And I'm not sure if issue 2 is available quite yet. It was recently funded on Kickstarter, and I'm totally sold on this. This is so different, and it very much feels like a fresh and original adventure that seems perfectly suitable for kids of all ages. And this artwork, very stunning, one of a kind. And I appreciate anything that's unique and shows a person's clear talent, which David Mims has on full display in this first issue of Steam Patriots. And Scott Wakefield's writing is very good, and he really lets just the story kind of play out. Limited dialogue. That's very nice. Strong sign of a good writer when it comes to comic books. And so I would highly recommend this one from silverlinecomics.com. And for the man in charge, Roland Man, I got to say, this one was a great find, buddy. You've got a team here that is writing something very special. I don't know if this would appeal to wide audiences, but man, if this was adapted into a cartoon, I think kids would be all over this. And I love that it is set in the historical past. Just the historical fiction has kind of become one of my favorite genres. And it's really enjoyable to write in. It's difficult to write in because you have to do a lot of research. But it's worth it because the world you discover in the past when you really spend hours and hours and hours for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks researching just so you can write a story, that whole world that you discover in the past is so vibrant and full of life, and it makes our modern age look really dull, to be quite honest. These people are going on great adventures and creating great things, and we are descending into a worldwide dystopia, and that's not fun. So I would much prefer to get lost in a great story like Steam Patriots from Silverline Comics. If you're with me on that, hit that thumbs up. If you're new, subscribe. Then hit this bell down here to preserve American heritage. Okay, it doesn't really do that. It just tells you when I upload a next video. But wouldn't that be cool if it did? And if you like this look at Steam Patriots, pick up the Gaslight Gang, Curse of the Grey Gargoyle. If you're much more into fantasy, check out Young Barbarians. If you prefer plain old cape superheroes, I guarantee you'll love Nobody's Hero. And if it's interplanetary science fiction you've got a taste for, check out Galactic Rush. All available, plus more, at enterthelostlibrary.com. And as for me, I will return next week with another totally awesome comic book review for each and every one of you beautiful people in Webtown, right here at Crypto Comics.